So Tesla just announced the performance variant of the Model Y, and unfortunately the US does not have it yet. However, we think until we get it, we're going to make it look sort of like the newer Performance. So let's find out how we're going to do that. So the new Model Y Performance variant is interesting because everything else is actually the same as the Model Y Juniper that you see right here. However, there's actually two major differences in the front and in the rear. We're not going to talk about the interior, but the front actually has this little scoop. And the front bumper is actually quite different. And on top of the bumper, this whole trim right here, that I forget what it's called, but all of that is also different, even in the middle right here. So there's this little kind of this line that separates it from where the headlights are. This is the daytime running lights. And it separates it right here, and then it has this scoop that kind of goes in. On top of that, there's not an aggressive, I guess, drop that it does on this Model Y right here. So this one has a much more aggressive body line like this, and it goes straight down like that. So it actually has this, it almost looks like this is a separate piece compared to this little bumper area, which I'm assuming is a trim. Not only that, I'll show you, if you look at this one, the new older Model Y has just one rear bumper, and the rear bumper is now two pieces, right, compared to the original Model Y. It has an actual scoop in the back, right, for aerodynamics, or it looks definitely a little bit more aggressive. And then it has a little bit more of a softer touch. It goes into this trim as well, right? So that's another difference. It's not just the rear bumper, it's also the trim, and it has a different, you can see it has a much more performance look compared to the, the Launch Edition or the Long Range Edition or dual motor, right? So this is really the difference. We're gonna try to find out if we can make it look a little bit like this. This is gonna be really challenging. The front, I think we could figure out something to do, but the rear is gonna be kind of hard because that one actually has really deep depth. There's a depth to it. It's not just like a surface area thing. It's a 3D thing that actually goes inwards into that bumper, which is going to be a little bit harder. With that being said, we're going to do some testing and we're going to see if it works. All right, so I tried the rear. I'll show you. It's kind of dumb, but the rear, we tried a lot of variants and it sucks. Okay, that angle that you're seeing right now is probably the best option. I think it looks the worst when you look at it this way. It just looks so cheap. Like if you look at this angle right here. You see that? Like it just doesn't look that good. Maybe it looks better on camera, but in person it really doesn't look that good. What we tried was, if you look at the original, it kind of goes here and scoops even more aggressively. So we tried putting like a vinyl like this to kind of give it that depth. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think the depth is too deep for us to try to create an illusion. This one, we actually tried it thicker and then going in, we tried thicker and going thin all the way here. I think the best one that actually looked is going wider and then going skinny and then going all the way out here. And I don't know, we don't like putting anything out. If I don't think it looks good, we're not really gonna put it out. Definitely an awful. I think this looks good if you close your eyes. Or maybe squint a little bit. Let's go work on the front and then let's see if the front can work. All right, so we got our first design done for the front and we can't wait to show you. And we got it cutting right here in our trusted cutter. All right, so this is a plotter. We have a larger one for production, but for R&D, you really don't need a giant one. So this is kind of what I use for initial testing, so I don't have to bother the team over there. But you can see right here, this is actually a PPF. And we're still deciding, should we do PPF or should we do vinyl? Not sure yet. So basically you weed it out, all the negatives, or the part you're not gonna use. And then this is kind of, I'll show you in a second. This is kind of what it looks like right here. So let's go ahead to the car and test it out. This PPF that we're working on is kind of a fun one because we test on vinyl first because it's cheaper, but this is actually a dry/wet PPF. This is incredibly hard though because it's such a hard area to do this in. All right, so this is not like super, that was a really quick install, but it really isn't that bad. For a first install, yeah, that's good. All right, so we have this little piece right here. This is gonna go right to it. All right, so I think this one we absolutely have to use some slip so I can actually put it into place, because that is hard. It's kind of okay, so we have some curvature issues right off the bat, but that's okay. For our first one, really not that bad. So for those of you who are just kind of learning about vinyl and stuff like this, this is what we call a wet install for paint protection film. So I'm a little low here, a little high here. There's a couple areas that I might need to fix. So why do we do this? Well, the original one, if we look at, well, it's not there anymore, but if you look at the original one, we'll put the picture right here, is it has this little strip. It's more so flush to it, but we're trying to create illusion. So I might have to go a little fatter maybe even, and go like this and then make it go out wide like that or something, or maybe just kind of here and then out. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. And then this can be a little straighter, and we didn't want to go all the way here because once you start working with bends like this, it's going to be pretty hard to do. But let's go ahead, obviously not fully functional yet, but let's go back and just see. You think it added 10 more horsepower to this thing? I can tell you, I think we're definitely going to do PPF, don't you think? Like vinyl in this area sucks, so I don't know, we might have to consider. We actually have a product for, we call it Sport Mode for the Model Y, the original one. And that one is hard because of, it's not hard in the sense that like how to install, it's more so because you have to deal with venting like that area right here, and it's just really unnatural for hands to go in there. So that PPF, when it's wet, you have that time to kind of wiggle around and like put it in place. So I think we are gonna do cyan black and probably, or cyan black and then gloss black for this variation.
I like the idea of bringing it out. I almost think that we should make that one piece on PPF.
Yeah,
and then
for
we
sure.
could like flip it and then have it like production-wise. And then I think we need to bring this down just a little bit.
You think so?
I think almost like, because when I was back here, I was like, it doesn't necessarily, like I think we could do with maybe a little bit lower.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why we did that when we were talking about the design language on this one is that anytime there's a curve like that, it does get difficult. So, but I think we can push it down just a tad bit. But yeah, like what Dessa said, like we're gonna probably bring it out a little bit more to give it that faux trim, the gloss trim or cyan trim that is right there, and then we're gonna make it a little bit more downward so that on an angle, it still looks like a vent, or like it's not really a vent, but it's like that trim that sits right there. So if you're enjoying our content, make sure you click on that subscribe button. We have a lot of content around, customizing, protecting, and maintaining your vehicles. This is the final design, I think. This is like design number 2, easy. But actually it's number 3, I'm lying. But we think this is gonna look good. A lot of times the reason why we don't do the PPF is really expensive, much more expensive. So I felt like people would really want to pay the premium. But I think for this one, we're just gonna make it PPF because it's just that much easier. So here you go. You just kind of slide in, look at this. Look how much easier this is. You just slide it in and then just line it up to this top right there, and it just kind of follows that line. Look at that, that's it. And then you just kind of hold it. I want to do a really light squeegee for now, just a light one. And I kind of get a little bit more firmer as I do it. And then the squeegee that we're going to give is actually a little smaller, so it's actually going to make this easier. You can see I can go a little harder right there and then go all the way up. Here, definitely going to need a smaller squeegee. So if you look at this like design, we did this because, let me just show you real quick. It's a trim that actually flushed right there. So we try to replicate that. So we have that bar, but we think on this side, when you look at it this angles, it kind of looks similar to what we're trying to replicate. And then same thing over here. It looks really good. I think most people are gonna be looking at this angle, kind of give that dark shadow in there. So it kind of separates the bumper a little bit in a way that makes it look a little bit more aggressive. So I think that's what they were going for. But this one is another story. You can see all the trash around here. We tried. Look how bad that looks. So here's what we came up with though. This is a no-go. I mean, however we did it in so many different variations. We did it fat, we did it skinny, we did it all the way going around, we did it just here. None of it really worked. So here's what we thought might work. So what if you took it all out, and for the back, we're just gonna have one piece that just goes and then loosen, like kind of does that, right? Because the original performance bumper, the rear bumper, actually has that kind of loop. It's a little bit less aggressive, but at least it gives it that look. We're not even gonna add this into our cost of goods sold. We're just gonna give this for free. This is gonna be an optional thing, but if you buy this kit, it'll probably get this anyway, and then you can install the back side. So this is one of those things. Some people might like it, some people might not care, but it kind of gives it I think a skinnier bumper look maybe. So we're gonna also finish designing that. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got a little bit more work to do, a lot of videos to shoot, clean up our mess a bit. But let us know what you think about the sport mode package for the Juniper. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs up. But yeah, we want to hear about what you think about it. So we'll see you later, and happy DIY.